We are live again. A huge shout out to everyone who has been watching the replays and some of you as well who have been catching us live for this series of Be My Guest. We've had some incredible marketers join us so far, speaking about what they do on a day to day basis, practitioners in marketing, giving us some insight into their industry, some of the things that they are seeing working in their industry for their clients, for themselves. And it just kind of gives us an opportunity to sit down and ask the questions that we maybe wouldn't get to ask. And today we are going to be speaking about CRM. It's something I haven't really spoken about a lot on my socials at all. It's something that I do plan on speaking about a little bit more. And we have a professional here who's going to kind of be breaking it down for us. I'm going to introduce him. He goes by the name of Alex. And I'm going to give him a chance to kind of introduce himself and what he does. But before we get into it, I wanted to kind of like say a huge thank you as well to Alex for joining us. We had a conversation before this a few weeks ago where he kind of broke down some of the things that are important in terms of building a CRM and having that as part of your business. Alex, you specialize in the healthcare industry, but I wanted to kind of also mention the fact that this can be transferable for those of you who are working in different industries as well. But I believe this is going to be a really, really informative and essential conversation that we're going to be having today. So Alex, thank you so much for joining me. Give us a little bit of a background in terms of who you are and what you do.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Dave. Sam. So I started off in the medical field. I've been in the medical field for about 20 years, working in physiotherapy clinics. Started off as a technician, internships, and now working more so in the outpatient orthopedic clinic. And I've seen the importance of getting new patients on a regular basis, and that's kind of what keeps us going. It keeps the doors open. And I realized that a lot of it has to do with all marketing. It really doesn't matter how great your skills are. It's more about the type of marketing that you do. So I started off more as a practitioner, and then a few years back, I started learning, started getting interested in online marketing. So I started following the different people, social media influencers, and started really figuring out a little pattern that they were all doing. So I started learning that and took some courses, some webinars, and then I started implementing that into our own facility. So I realized the power that a CRM can have, and really how much more insights you can get into your patients. And you get data. You can use data analytics to kind of see where they're coming from, how you're getting them, and then how you can get more. So I've been interested more in the actual marketing of medical facilities, more so than being a general practitioner. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So seeing the impact, and then seeing how lead magnets could be used not only in the medical field, as you said, but also in many other markets as well. So I've seen it played out, and that's kind of where I'm at now.
Awesome. Sounds good. And we were having a little bit of a discussion just before we went live. And I want to get into kind of some of those topics. But first and foremost, I'm going to start really simple. When we say CRM, what are we speaking about? Like, what does that mean? And why should companies be taking that seriously?
Absolutely. So CRM stands for customer relationship management. So what it is it's your database. It's your database, because your database is your business. So once you grab a new client, a new patient, new customer, you want to put them into a database, and that database is the CRM. So it's a platform that you use to put all your contacts. You can put their first name, last name, you name it, all different types of fields that could use their interests, the type of, um, if they have family, if they have, I mean, you can get as creative as you want. So basically, you create these little tags like what are they interested in? So it's your database. You can hopefully you'll get their contact information. The more fields that you can collect about them, the better you will understand your clients. And that's really what CRM is you want to manage that. And you can create different groups. For example, I'll just give you an example of what I've used in the physiotherapy clinics. I could group different people if they have neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain. So you can create different segments on that.
Awesome. And so you spoke briefly about lead magnets, and that the lead magnets relationship to the CRM, and it kind of being the starting point. What have you kind of seen in terms of like creating a lead magnet? What should people be thinking about when creating their magnets, and what has been working for you?
Absolutely. League magnets are so much fun because it's amazing to see it work on how you can generate new clients. And it works 24/7. So a lot of times marketers, they're going to work from a certain amount of time in the morning, and then once they're done at the end of the day, that's it, right? But a lead magnet can work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's always working. So really what's worked is giving more information to the client. Giving an example of what the best lead magnet that's worked for me is the number one topic or the number one diagnosis that we treat is low back pain. So I created a lead magnet saying 5 tips to decrease your back pain to help you move better throughout the day. So something very simple. Give them a headline, back pain. What is the pain point that they have? So it's a basic PDF format. It's a PDF form that you generate. You can create it on Canva. Very easy. You can get a freelancer to create a 3D image for you. So it looks very attractive, very appealing. You're going to get more people signing up for a lead magnet than just a general form. So, and you attach that lead magnet, you're going to follow it up with a nurture email sequence that can be created inside the CRM. Then once, for example, somebody downloads a PDF of the lead magnet, their name, whatever fields you created, name, email, phone number, whatever fields that you want in that lead magnet for the patient or for that client to give you, all that's automatically going to be transferred over to the CRM. So now you have a new client, that's going to increase your database. And then you follow it up with nurture email sequence just to kind of give that client more information. It's all about giving more information, making sure that they're ready to buy from you when they make that decision.
Awesome. And what I'm finding as well, one of the things that I've always said is the better you understand your target audience, the easier it is to market to them. And I think the step that a lot of people kind of miss off is like the process that you've been talking about, which is creating something valuable. Can it be a PDF? Could it be a video? And we see it all of the time in different kind of formats. Sometimes people give away a free trial to their software or access to a useful tool that you might be able to go on their website and use this tool for free, not realizing that that's actually their lead magnet.
Correct.
And it's funny how much psychology and marketing are combined, in the sense that like you really need to try and I call it empathy marketing, getting into the shoes of your target audience and really think, okay, what is going to bring my customer the most amount of value, and can I create something to give away for free in return for that name and email address? Another thing is like obviously with CRM we have, as you kind of you spoke about already, is like segmentation. Do you have any kind of best practices in terms of segmentation or things that you can share with us?
Absolutely. The first thing, when somebody downloads that PDF or a webinar, whichever lead magnet that you use, as soon as you create a nurture email sequence, some of the CRMs, they allow you to create a tag, um, an instant tag. As soon as they download that PDF, you'll get you'll create a tag for them. That's all done automatically, right? You set it up once and it just continues to do the same thing. So as soon as they download it, they get a tag, or they could also get separated into a different group. That seems to be work the best. That way you don't have to go back into the list and manually uh, manually work on your list and separate them into different groups. So the quicker, the sooner you get them, you give them a tag or put them in a group, the better your database will be.
Awesome, and that's like tagging people in different categories as well, based on what they downloaded. If it's a free giveaway, maybe products that they've purchased, and also activity on your website, things that they've, if someone clicks a link or something like that, then you can send them a completely different, put them through a different series than if they didn't click a link. Maybe they opened the email but didn't click a link or whatever it might be. So I know it can get quite technical.
Yes.
How, for someone who is just starting out with CRM, because it can get really technical and there's so much you can do, like it's such a powerful resource.
Yes.
How does someone not get overwhelmed when kind of starting out and saying, okay, I know that CRM is important and I want to start, I've got my lead magnet together. What is the kind of like, is there a simple sequence that people should be kind of following, or what should someone do so they don't get overwhelmed?
Absolutely. So start with one lead magnet. Identify the main pain point that your client is facing, and create a lead magnet for that. Otherwise, you're going to have many lead magnets, and it's going to, your database may be a little messy. So find one pain point that your client is having, and then give them a solution to that using a lead magnet, or just explain the possible solutions to their pain point. That would be the easiest thing. Just focus with one, and then you can get a little bit creative and start adding a little bit more. Once you kind of figure out how it all works, how you generate a lead magnet, attach it to a nurture email sequence, and then how you can do follow up with the client at that time.
Awesome. So keeping it simple, I always recommend that as well, like adding things as you go along rather than trying to make like a really complicated sequence, like you said, like adding tags and stuff like that. Create a simple a simple lead magnet, tag people based on that lead magnet, and then add things maybe as time progresses, and it might become a little bit more kind of
Correct.
robust. But I think the thing that we haven't touched on yet is customer experience.
Yes.
So people's customers can actually get a better experience of your company and of your brand when you're using a CRM. Have you noticed any of that? And do you have any insights on that as well?
Absolutely. I think it's great. It's such a great experience, and I've used it myself too. Medical facilities that I've gone to, they've used it too, and with me. So, for example, when I make an appointment to go see a new doctor, I automatically receive an email with more information, right? So it looks so great when you use a CRM. For example, you can use another. So you want to also figure out that the type of things, the problems that patients or clients may be having to getting into your services. And I'm going to use an example from the medical field. Some of them get lost going to the facility. So you could create a little form, a little nurture sequence that as soon as they make an appointment to come in and see you, they automatically get 1 to 2 emails after that. Number one is reminding them of their appointment. Number two is um, showing them how to get to your facility, right? Because some of them do get lost, and they may miss their appointment. So you want to make it easy for them to get to your service.
Mm. And that's, I think, a really crucial point as well, because I'm a big believer that the best marketing is your product or your service, and also your customer service as well. And so a lot of times, like, if your product is good, it kind of, in a way, can sell itself. Now, obviously, you still want to do good marketing, but if people have a good experience with your product or your service or your customer service, they're a lot more likely to come back. Like you
Yes,
said, if they can't find it, or their experience isn't that great, then the chances of them recommending you to friends and family, especially in the day and age we live in now of social media, where it's so easy to just post something negative about a business, and that can hurt that business's image and future custom as well.
yes,
So using CRM not just to generate more revenue, but also to make your customers' lives a little bit better is always
absolutely.
going to be great. Be great for business.
Yes, Sam, you said one thing about that they may refer you to a family member. The other thing is the one of the importance of having a CRM is that you can always email current people that are active on your database. You can email them as many times as you want, right? Don't overdo it, but
Mm,
give them, like, for example, here's one time a month. Now, you're going to get ahead of your competition on this because they're hearing from you at least one times a month. Your competition that may not be utilizing CRM will, they're never going to get to that client. So,
mm,
for example, if you send more information about a specific diagnosis, back pain, or whatever condition that they may be having, is if they hear from you at least once a month, and if they go have a conversation with a family member or a friend, and they start talking about it, most likely they're going to talk about you, right? They're going to say, "Oh, I've
mm.
seen this specialist in the past," because they're going to remember you because they're always going to stay on top of mind at least one time a month. That's
Exactly.
another powerful use of a CRM.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it as well is being able to schedule when you're maybe not around as well, so that you stay top of mind when you might not necessarily even be active in generating new email campaigns or text message marketing campaigns or whatever it might be.
Yes,
We have a question from
yes,
Rushan Kumar. We have two from him, and the second one is one I was going to ask anyway, so he kind of beat me to it. But he's asking, what is the difference between a data analyst and data marketing? From my experience, I'm just going to put my 2 cents in there.
sure,
Like, they're very similar. A data analyst is just someone who is responsible for, like, analyzing data, gathering data, and obviously using a CRM or doing CRM marketing as well. There's so much data that we can get once we start getting people in, and I don't know, maybe that's something we can go into as well.
sure.
And then data marketing is kind of using that data that we've gathered to make better decisions. We call it in marketing data driven decisions.
Yes.
What kind of data, I guess that's a good question as well, is like, what kind of data should we be looking at within our CRM to kind of maybe make certain improvements, or to tell us a little bit about how our marketing is going?
Sure. So, for example, I've created one of the things that I've done before is created 4 different lead magnets. One for a specific condition, one for back pain, one was for shoulder pain, another one was for knee, another one was for sports. So, what I could do with that data is see which one is getting downloaded the most, right? So now, for example, you we found that most people are interested in back pain. So now you can target your message a little bit more, just to kind of be a little bit more specific to where you treat more of clients that are dealing with back pain. So that's how you can you can utilize the data that you gather from the CRM, right? So another thing is you can the type of fields that you can create is, are they male or female? So now you deliver the message a little bit more. So that's the importance of gathering the data, and then also knowing your perfect patient, your perfect client.
Amazing. And I always say that marketing is like throwing a bunch of things against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Correct.
Not necessarily recklessly. Like obviously there's a difference between like guessing and having a estimate.
Correct.
You want to kind of create the lead magnets that you feel will your target audience will like. You want to create email campaigns and so on and so forth that you think people will like. But then you look back at that data and you might notice that, oh, okay, a certain type of email gets more open rates, or a certain type of text message gets more opens or more clicks or whatever it might be. And so it's always important that, yes, you might set it up automatically, but going back and tweaking and making those
Yes,
data driven decisions, I think is really key as well.
absolutely. Great question.
And then the second question from Roshan is speaking about money in terms of pricing. And I think what the where I was going to go, his question is more towards, why should someone spend money on a CRM? And I guess this whole live kind of covers that. So we can cover that question. But also, secondly, is how much should we be spending on a CRM software, or how much can we expect to pay from a good CRM software?
So there are so many different CRMs right now. It's unbelievable. Some of them have a free version up to a certain amount of subscribers. For example, the amount of contacts that you have in the CRM. So some of them, they'll give you a free account if they have 1,000 contacts. Some of them may be $9 a month, and then some of them can go up to $250 a month. That's more for like the
Mm,
enterprise. Those are big companies. So for a small marketer, they can start with the small amount, even a small version, but it just limits the amount of things that they could do with that CRM.
awesome. Uh, a shout out to Afolabi as well, who's joined us, and also a shout out to Kamel. If you guys have any more questions before we round up, then do let us know. And for those of you who are watching or catching the replay, feel free to drop your questions in the comments as well. We'll do our best to try and answer those. So what are some of the best practices? I know we've covered quite a lot already.
Yes,
For us, some of the best practices for implementing a CRM within your business.
sure.
So someone who is kind of like just starting off, maybe they've watched this live and they haven't even heard about CRMs before.
Okay,
Where should they start, and what kind of things should they keep in mind in terms of setting it up effectively?
absolutely. So if somebody is interested in working within the medical facility, a few things that they're going to have to know is, number one, they're going to have to know that you're dealing with sensitive personal health information. So you got to know the rights that you have to somebody's personal information. So because a lot of it's federally protected, so you can really get into a mess of trouble if you go in there, start messing with the data. So medical facilities can give you access to their client database. Okay, so just number one thing is that it's probably a little bit more regulated than other markets. Um, Number two is figure out the pain points that the medical practitioner is treating, right? Like, what is it that their clients are dealing with? Is it cancer? Is it some type of medical condition? So you're going to help the medical practitioner set up the campaigns, maybe even a lead magnet, but you also are going to have to understand the copy, how of knowing having some knowledge of the medical condition. That way your copy um, can be consumed by the potential patients um, from the medical practitioner. So it's a couple things. Number one, you got to understand the marketing foundation on how to set up a CRM, and then lead magnets and how to connect it all together. And then generating the lead magnets is, you got to know what is the condition that the practitioner is going to treat.
Fantastic. Awesome. I mean, there's so much in there. And I think that CRM marketing, whenever I do a video on email marketing, since the beginning of my, career creating content, it always gets the least amount of views and interaction. My theory is that people feel like it's too complicated to learn and to understand, and they feel like they don't necessarily need it within their
Okay.
business. But some of the biggest, well, all of the biggest companies that we all know of, if we were to check our email inbox and
Yes.
see how many emails we get sent from them, or text message marketing in some cases as well. If if it's a company that, for example, even events, like some of the biggest events, they'll send us a text
Yes.
reminder to say, hey, we have a new event coming up, or whatever it might be. It's so effective. And that's why I feel like this conversation we're having today is so important, because it can cost a lot of money and it can take a lot of time to acquire a new customer, to get a new person into our business.
Yes.
And as a marketing consultant, I'm sure you've seen this as well, where a lot of companies and startup entrepreneurs, particularly, where they fail is they're trying to chase new customers all the time. So
Mm.
they might get 10 customers this month, and they say, okay, cool, next month, how can we get some new customers in? And
Mm.
that's always the goal, of new, fresh customers. Whereas
Yes.
actually, to grow a sustainable business is, how do you nurture the people who already know about you,
Correct.
who have already downloaded your free guides, who are your past customers? So your best customers are usually the people who have done business with you already.
Yes.
And the CRM allows you to kind of sort of connect with them on a deeper level to ensure that they're doing business with you consistently. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
One other thing is the with the usage of CRM is the it's the long game, right? You're in it for the long run on this one, because in the beginning you're gonna want to generate as many clients as you can.
Mm,
As your database gets larger, now that they become the low hanging fruit, where
mm.
chances are they're going to come back and see you again, but you kind of need to nurture that. So now you're working on a couple of things with marketing: is how can you generate new leads, and then how can you nurture the leads that are already in your database. So you got to understand that using a CRM, you're in it for the long run. And with this one, it's going to take a little bit of time, but your database will get larger, and then you can work with them. If you've had 5,000, 10,000 people come into your facility, you can market to them,
Mm.
rather than, in addition to always trying to get new clients into your facility as well.
Yeah. And I worked with a client not too long ago, and her that's what we did essentially, is, in order to grow her business to 10K a month, rather than trying to look and find new customers, we looked at her current customer base. How can we reach them more effectively, and without having to spend too much more money on ads, or without having to create a new product range, or just with her existing reach already, she was able to scale her
Absolutely.
business, 10x her business. So I think, like you said, the combination of having a funnel there, having your lead magnet, uh, and the process to get new leads in, but then nurturing those leads. And you'll be surprised with, just making a few tweaks and adding things like a CRM, adding things like tags, and, reaching your audience. It might, depending on how big your audience is already, or how small you are, you can do a lot of manual outreach as well. And then, a lot of people ask me, how do we get started with, creating a series of emails? And sometimes the best way is just send one email, every other day to your list, or whatever it might be, and then copy that email and save it as, something that goes out to people who join your list a little bit later on.
Right.
So I remember when I was doing I had like a month series of emails, but I created that over a lengthy period of time of just broadcasting emails to my list, and then copying that and adding that email to my sequence. So just these small hacks, I think, can really help. So Afolabi is saying, please, I would like to know more on how I can use CRM to get leads, lead magnet, if I am not missing what you're saying.
Absolutely. Great question, Afolabi. So, inside CRM, they give you the option to create a lead magnet or a new campaign, right? So, or you can also use a third party. I believe, Sam, in the past, you've said that you used lead pages, and then you integrate, for example, a third party with the CRM. But most of the CRMs are using their own. They have the capability for you to create a lead, to attach a lead magnet into a email series. So it can be done in within that CRM to get new leads. So once you have the lead magnet, a PDF, a webinar, whatever you want to use, you can put it on somebody's website, or you can use that link to promote on social media. When somebody clicks on that link, it's going to send them to what's called a landing page. And again, that landing page can be built inside that CRM. In that landing page, you can put your your lead magnet, for example, a free PDF download. But in order for somebody to get that download, they have to give you their name, their email, and whatever other information that you want to capture from that potential customer. Once they give you that, once they give you their contact information, it automatically triggers a nurture email sequence, which can be built within that CRM. So hopefully
Awesome.
that answers the question to Afolabi.
Yeah, I think that's quite clear. Like you mentioned, webinars as well. I think webinars are a great way to sell, but also to generate leads. So you're kind of doing both at the same time. You're getting people's names and email addresses by promoting the webinar, but you're also able to use the webinar as a facility to kind of to sell your products and offer your services and whatever it might be as well.
Yes.
So his follow-up question is, do you mean when they are interacting with the Google form, it populates automatically on the CRM? I'm not 100% sure where that question, if it was from something that we said earlier or something.
I believe what he's asking, I think he's asking if you can use a Google form as a method of a CRM. You can, but the problem with that is that you can use a Google form and attach it to an Excel sheet. You can integrate both of them, but nothing can happen after that. There's no follow-up emails. You would have to generate or get that list that you generate using that Google form and then upload that to a CRM. But usually when using a Google form, a Google Excel sheets, it comes to a dead stop.
Okay. Hopefully that answers the next question that we had. Alabi was asking about Google Forms as well. And can it be integrated with other websites? But I think that kind of answers the questions as well. I haven't personally used Google Forms. I use, even if it's just a simple autoresponder. So if you're not using like a sophisticated CRM, you might be using a simple autoresponder, and you can connect that, and you can connect your CRM or your autoresponder to Shopify or whatever other website it might be. Like we were mentioning before, it could be landing page, lead pages, or a landing page software you're using as well. Awesome. I feel like we've gotten through most of our questions. If there is a question that we haven't answered, then this is kind of the time to leave that in the comments. But as we kind of wrap up, I'm going to be leaving a link in the comment section for those of you to kind of like click on that, and you can kind of see more of what Alex has available for us. Can you speak a little bit about this Google Doc that I've just pasted into the comments section?
Absolutely. So if anybody wants to talk with me a little bit further with CRM, if they need help setting up a CRM, I'll be more than happy to help them out. If they want to learn how to create a lead magnets, how to integrate it, put it all together, they can. Or if they want to collaborate with me and to help set up a marketing campaign for medical facilities, they can put their contact information in that Google form, and I will be reaching out to them. Real basic form.
Fantastic. Awesome. So I'm going to be leaving that form for those who are watching the replay. It's in the comment section. So if you want to reach out to Alex directly, then you can click on that link. For those of you who might be watching on YouTube, I'm going to leave the link in the description after this live has ended, so you can kind of click that link and contact him there as well. I think there are people who are asking about the recording. So yeah, it's going, once the live is finished, you'll be able to access it, like I said, on YouTube and on LinkedIn as well, for those of you who want to come back and watch it again, or those of you who may have missed the beginning. Afolabi is saying, thanks, I got the message. I saw your uploaded Google form, so I was using it as a base that if we interact with it, it will capture information and populate it to your CRM.
Got it, Afolabi. Yeah, it would be once that's just this is not attached to a CRM, but it can easily be attached to a CRM.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Alex. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully I can kind of get you on again. It would be a pleasure to kind of speak more about CRMs, and based off of some of the questions that we get, maybe after this has gone live as well, people who watch the replay, it would be great to kind of expand upon this topic, because as we both know, email and database marketing is so important. It's kind of like the lifeblood of any kind of successful business. And if you can get a handle on that, then everything else kind of fits into there. You know, if you're doing paid traffic campaigns, it makes your paid traffic campaigns more profitable. You know, if you're running at a loss at the moment, but you're able to use your CRM to really nurture some of your customers and get more value out of them than, you know, the initial purchase that they made, then that can really have a huge impact on how much money you can spend with your paid ads, and, you know, how successful your social media campaigns can be, and so on and so forth. So it's a really important topic, and thank you so much for being here to share it with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
No worries. And thank you everyone as well for joining us. The replay will be available. But until next time, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.